Hi and Assalamualaikum. I am Siti Nurlyana and my group will talk about issues of language learning among Unisel students. I will continue with the abstract. So every student is particular and behaves differently from each other. Their brains work and think contradicts, especially on acquiring a language. Some students are facing issues in developing another language. So this study is conducted to find out what are the problems and struggles that the students are having or are currently experiencing. The data is being conducted through a survey that was distributed to the students of University Selangor. The questionnaires contain the possible problems and a few solutions that might help the students to overcome the difficulties of language learning. Students answered the survey provided and the data was collected to gather all of the answers to find out what was causing the issue of acquiring another language. Some find it hard because of the environment and lack of support from people around. Some also don't have the mental capacity of learning a new language because it takes a lot of time. These issues can be lifted or helped by giving attention to the students because they have different ways of thinking and learning. So moving on to the introduction, language learning is common especially when we live in a country where varieties of language are being applied. Most people find it challenging to adapt to another language, hence why people learn more than one language. Same goes to this student. English language is very important, especially when the people around you are using English. The acquisition of a second language is critical to a person's overall development. It has addressed that every element of personal growth acquiring a second language is quite important in order to strengthen the student ability in communicating in English. Hence why educators must be aware of students' distinctions in order to give the most effective and accurate learning of teaching methods. The importance of teaching English as a second language has grown all around the world to improve students' opportunity to capture necessary English abilities. It has also impact on how these students solve challenges in language acquisition and how they enhance their language skills. However, because of each student has their own unique pattern of development, the qualities cannot be applied to individuals. Moving on to research questions, there are two research questions, which is what are the issues faced by the students and how to overcome the difficulties. And research objectives, there are two, which is to be able to understand the difficulties of language learning among the students and to provide ways on how to diminish difficulties of language learning. I will pass the next section, which is literature review, to the next presenter. Thank you.
So hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Feeqry Naim and I'm going to continue on literature review part. So this part, it consists of 3 points, which is first, the importance of second language learning. The second one is language difficulties faced by Malaysian ESL learners. And lastly, ways to overcome difficulties in learning second language. So for the first one, the importance of learning second language. So learning a second language is an excellent approach for students to advance as students and later in life as professionals speaking more than one language. According to a psychologist, improve cognitive performance and have several mental health benefits. So being bilingual has also been demonstrated to help in decision making. So some of the importance of second language learning is that our ability to connect with people is one of the most satisfying features of the human experience. It's a wonderful blessing to be able to communicate with someone in their own language. And then in both their personal and professional life, bilinguals have the unique chance to communicate with a wider spectrum of people. So for the second point is language difficulties faced by Malaysian ESL students. So as we know, Bahasa Melayu is the first language for many ESL learners in Malaysia. So students may have some problems or difficulties in learning English as a second language. The first one, students struggle to apply proper English grammar in their writing and make mistakes like incorrect article usage and subject-verb agreement. So a large number of errors identified suggest interference with Malay grammar. So for the last part is ways to overcome difficulties in learning second language. So people generally find it easier to learn English for fun. Motivations to enjoy a type of pleasures such as literature, movies, songs, games and so on, for example, are less demanding than learning English as a compulsory subject. This could be due to the fact that self-initiation works better than when there is no external pressure. Students can self-teach English and so have a better comprehension of the language by employing types of media that are engaging to them. This is why practicing using many platforms of the media is one of the ways to overcome difficulties in language learning.
Thank you so much, Naim, for the awesome presentation. Well, I'm Phaarven Krishnan here. I will be discussing about the methodology and also the finding part. Well, the purpose of this study was to actually determine the extent which Unisel students who are concerned about the language learning issues. Okay, a total number of 10 university students were actually involved in this research. A survey approach which was used to perform in this investigation. Two component questions will be asked. The first will be difficulties and also the problem which the university students faces, and the second will be way to overcome on how to learn a new languages. Okay, so data analyzed were actually used descriptive statistics of value and also percentages, and open-ended questions were actually utilized to gather new informations. Okay, so there are 5 major components which are focusing from this research. So there are demographic of respondents by gender, age, causes. The second will be reason behind this issue. Third will be the strategies they actually imply in learning a new language. The fourth one will be personality effects on how learning a new languages. And the fifth one, way to improve learning new languages. Okay, so talking about the demographic, mutually 50-50 female and male participants were actually involved in this research. About 21 to 23 years old people who are actually responded, and mostly are from 90% of the respondents were actually from Bachelor of TESOL. Okay, so the reason behind this issue was actually smarter students dominate the class, and also limited learning environmental, which was reported 28%. They feel smarter students were actually ruling the class, and the limited environment resources which makes them to feel a barrier to learning a new languages. Okay, the strategies they actually implied was social strategies 80%, and the least strategy they were actually used to learning a new language is memory strategy and also effective strategies. So the personality effects on how learning new languages could be a reason of having a lower self-esteem and also afraid of taking risk. So people reported that 60% from the low self-esteem and 50% from afraid of taking risk. On the way how to improve learning languages, about 21% of the respondents were actually reported that watching TV, movies, listening to new languages, radios could improve their English language. The list will actually make summarize of new materials. So that's all from my part. Thank you so much, and we'll pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Next is the conclusion part. My name is Shathana Nair, anak perempuan Karunagaren, and I will be presenting the part conclusion. So most of them are focused on having a fun environment around friends, gaining new knowledge by looking through new words and also being more interactive with teachers. Because very limited students tend to not prefer being in a big group when learning because they get distracted with their peers. Because they tend to talk, and most of them also do not prefer working in a big group when it comes to being with the peers to contribute to work. It is because they prefer being alone. Interestingly, this study also says that students are more likely to feel supported when they are given a chance to speak up about their thoughts and opinions. And when learning takes place in the classroom, it boosts their inner self-confidence as they can feel confident to come up with their own ideas, and creativity when they are coming up with their own assignments. And next is recommendation. For this study, we recommend that the authorities should provide all teachers in training courses to comprehend and encourage the usage of English in its entirety. And secondly, starting to acquire fresh knowledge should be the wish of students always. And also, students, they should be encouraged to use the instructions of teachers and parents in reading and writing. That's all from me. Thank you.